Welcome to another edition of the 1U Radio Show, hosted by your host, Alan A.J. Davis, better known as A.J. the Trainer, PR Media Davis. I'm here at the Lehigh Valley's premier child care facility at KULA. The phone number here is 484-350-3557. The address is 1604 South 4th Street, Allentown, PA, 18103. I'm sitting here with the operator, Mr. Jim Jackson. Welcome to the 1U Radio Show, Jim.
Thank you for having me.
This is a beautiful facility that you have right here.
Thank you.
Coming soon at KULA. Talk to us about the center, Mr. Jackson.
Well, first off, KULA, it stands for Kiddie U Learning Academy. So it's spelled KULA. And again, it stands for Kiddie U Learning Academy. We've been in business in the Valley here in Allentown for the last 14 years. And, it's been a lucrative business for us, not just in the sense of money, but in the sense of touching the community, the children in the community's lives. We always say, in the city of Allentown, if you have a child, we have already cared for them, or 9 times out of 10, and I don't say this in an arrogant way, but they call us. They our name has spread for quality child care, but more than just child care, we educate the children. So that's why I think that's the main reason that we have been so successful.
This is not your typical child care facility. You offer variations of programs. You're involved with the community. You take the children on different field trips, various activities. What differentiates KULA from any other child care facility?
Most child care centers are pretty much babysitting services. You drop your child off, you go to work or go wherever it is that you go during the day, and you come back. If it's a nice day outside, you might see your child playing, and you pick your child up, and that's nice. As long as your child is cared for correctly, they're in a safe environment, a clean environment, that's nice. But that's not KULA. What KULA is we're about, of course, like I told you, educating children right from the gate. They need to be educated, and for the record, our system of educating. We've gotten feedback from the community, from the schools, the higher education facilities, elementary schools, and even middle schools, because we've had children that come to us and they've grown up and they've been in the middle school, and they always can tell. The educators have told us that they can always tell when a child has went to KULA, because we start them off early. They tend to have an advantage, be a little more smarter. With that being said, we also combine it with the education experience with just life experience. So, I like to take the kids on trips out of the city. We've been to Broadway plays in Manhattan. We've been to the monuments in Washington, D.C. We've been kayaking, sponsored by LL Bean. We're now partnering with LL Bean, and it's not like a partnership with their retail business, but it's a partnership with their outdoor not-for-profit organization that they offer for children and child care facilities and different things like that. But from my other partner, which is my wife, from her just being so involved with the children and so involved in the community and taking the children to Nature Gap, the Lehigh Valley Nature Gap, and just different environmental trips that LL Bean got involved. They wanted to get involved more with us, and they so we're working on a partnership with them right now. But we provide experience. That's our thing. We've been to NBA basketball games. Like I said, Broadway plays. I mean, you name it, we've been there. And if we haven't been there, you name it, and I'll probably put the trip together. But I like to get the kids away to give them it broadens their minds, and it gives them a wider perspective on life. You know what I mean? When you're a child and you get to see places and go places and do things that, not to say that the parents can't do, but the thing is, it still takes a village and to raise a child. And, mom and dad might be at work. And, we step in. We don't just step in to, like I said, educate. We do that, but we also step into leisure, and they learn when they go away, when they go out on these trips. So that's what separates us and differentiates us from the rest. You know what I mean? We're not just your typical babysitting service, and that was never, ever the plan. It was always about more, give them more.
What are your hours of operation here at KULA?
We operate right now. We operate Monday through Saturday, from 6 in the morning to 11:30 at night. Saturdays are more like if it's needed. Well, and that's another thing about us. We are truly here for the community. So whether it's one child or 10 children, on a Saturday, we give up our Saturdays, our weekends, to provide that service for the parents, and care for the children on the weekends. But our normal hours are 6 a.m. to 11:30 at night.
Talk about your before and after school care program.
Well, we care for children that range from ages 6.5 weeks up to 13 years. So our before and after care is more so the kids that are in elementary school. It's usually like third graders, fourth graders, fifth graders, sixth graders, and seventh graders. And we take them to school, we pick them up from school. And on days that they don't have school, we have enough space to allow them to be in our facility all day, and they don't have to stay home and do nothing. They can, still come to our center and just take part in, different activities that we have for their age group.
This is a family-owned business. The Jacksons have combined. You and your wife have years of experience in the child care business. Talk to our listeners about that. What prompted you to get into the child care facility, and what has been responsible for your durability, your duration?
Well, like I said, my wife is my partner. We're actually from New Jersey, and she worked in the Montclair school system, Montclair, New Jersey, in an elementary school called Rand Elementary. And it was a private, quaint school, and she worked there for 15 years. And that was when we lived in New Jersey. And my mother, she actually owned a in-house child care facility a child care business that, she had it for well over 15 years, I think about 20 years. And it was, she cared for all of the community children and some even their children. And, I never thought that I'd be in this business, but, my wife working in the school district, and myself, my mom owning it. So, I don't want to say I was raised on it, but, I'm familiar with the business. So, here we are in Pennsylvania, and what other business to go into? I've always been an entrepreneur, and I always try, as an entrepreneur, I've tried different things, but one thing I've come to realize is that you do what you know. I understand stepping into the unfamiliar, but there's that's a fine line as well, and that's a whole nother conversation, but you do what you know. And I know childcare, and I know the business. Again, my mom, from watching my mom, my wife works with children, or worked with children, and still works with children. So it was really a no-brainer. When we came here, we started it in our house. So we started as an in-house about 14 years ago, and again, we were pretty good at it then. I mean, we had all the kids, the whole neighborhood came to us, and so yeah.
What do you find to be the most interesting thing about working with children?
Just how working with children. So children are smart. They're not adult smart. They're what would you call it? They have a pure sense of I don't know the word to use, but I'm going to say this.
Emotional intelligence?
There you go. Emotional intelligence. They will tell you if you're a good person. They'll tell you if you're a bad person. They'll tell you if you are. It's like a dog, and I'm not comparing children to dogs, but to animals. I'm just saying, like a dog knows if you're good, if you're bad, and they'll respond to you in certain ways that, if you got half a brain, you would know that this dog doesn't like me. This well, it's just like children. Children let you know if you're a good person. What I found out is that I must be a good person because they love me. You know what I mean? And they respond to me in a way that I never thought they would. Like people would. And so you grow from that. So I realized they taught me. It wasn't me teaching them. They taught me. They taught me how to overlook certain things, just like a child. When you see two children and they're playing with each other, and then one does something that the other one doesn't like. Stop. The child will tell them stop, and the other child will say no. Or the child will stop, and then they're mad at each other. Then they don't want to play with each other, and then 5 minutes later they're playing with each other again. They let it go just that fast. Whereas adults, when we get to a point where we don't want to be bothered with the next person, we don't deal with that person. I don't mess with that guy. I don't go around these. The children know how to let things go and move forward. And I feel like in life, I've taken that from the children. Let it go, move forward, because the mission is bigger, it's greater. You know what I mean? And these are some things that. Because children are pure. So these are things that we learn as adults on the way where we're going in life, as we're growing in life. And you pick up some bad habits, some bad emotional or even physical attributes or characteristics. And children don't have that. Not yet anyway. So while they're young and pure, you can learn from them if you're fortunate enough to be around children enough.
What would you tell a young person coming out of college, or a person thinking about entrepreneurship? What advice would you give them about the business of childcare? Because this is at your new location. What's the square footage here?
7,000.
7,000 square feet. And you've been working on this location for a while. This is like no other daycare center that I've been in. Not that I've been to every center in the valley. The valley is flooded with all types of childcare, babysitting facilities. But this is not your average, your typical childcare facility. This is the valley. We're talking about the valley's premier childcare facility. What advice would you tell